Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Superheroes Showcase. So there's been a lot of changes since last time, and this is going to be the most up-to-date version. So the large things that have changed since last time is we've had a complete rewrite of the plugin. So instead of /power, the main command of the plugin is now /hero, and also we now have the ability to create heroes by mix and matching powers. And I'm going to go through each of the heroes one by one, demonstrate what they do, etc. So you can see if you want to use the plugin yourself. Okay, so firstly, when you type /hero in, you'll see 5 options. You've got export and import, which are for switching between the data storage types, currently YAML and SQL. So if like you start with a smaller server, then you want to migrate to more complex storage formats, you can do. And we have reroll, which will just randomly give you a hero. By default, when you join, you are assigned a hero, and the reroll just reruns that kind of a piece of the plugin. And there's hero select, which is what I'm going to be looking at. And then we have all of the heroes in alphabetical order. A lot of something I've learned as I've been developing this plugin is a lot of people don't want to stick with the random hero when you join and prefer selection. So you can disable this in the config. And if you do, then you can just run /hero select on the player. You can do various different things, but you basically want to do something with the command. And let's get rid of the rain. That's not very nice. The game will do other side difference. There we go. Okay, so we're currently Aerosurfer. Now this is the brief description. And Aerosurfer, when you sneak, it places glass under you if the blue block is air. So this is quite like, I don't know, it's one of my favorite default heroes in the plugin. You also get a bit of speed, which you can see in the top right, which just means sneaking isn't painfully slow. But if I'm actively like playing around with this, I typically do sprint jumping. So you can kind of game the sneaking. And these glass blocks will slowly clear themselves up, as you can see. And yeah, this is all there really is this hero. And we'll try and get a move on with these, so it's not a ridiculously long video. So the next thing we're going to go into is chicken. This is one of the more boring ones. It's a bit of a running joke. So you've got the speed 2 and slow falling, and every so often an egg will come out of you, which I have to wait for. There we go. So it's mimicking the egg mechanic. It's quite fun. Obviously, if you don't like any of these heroes, you can disable them easily by just navigating into the folder with all of the powers in. So you just go Superheroes 2, I think it's called Powers, and then you'll see a .yml file corresponding to each of these heroes. If you don't want it, just delete it. That's all you need to do. Okay, Creeper. So this one is is also quite a little fun one. So you can just go somewhere and then hold sneak, and you'll hear a creeper noise, and then it will detonate you into the air and then give you some slow falling so you can fall back down. So you could, like, I don't know, use explosion to kill stuff. You can use it as like mobility, whatever you want really. But that is and you also have the remote detonation power. So if I do spawn mob creeper 1, okay, now I look at this creeper, and then we get a bit closer to the creeper, then you can make it explode. So a second ago I was a bit too far away, but you can configure the range at which it is done quite easily in the config, and we'll take a look at the config after we've shown off all the heroes, so you can get an idea of how that all works. So the creeper, and you also have explosion immunity as the creeper. So you can't, let's say if a creeper comes up to you and explodes, it's fine. So moving on, we have Disguise, which is We're covering quite a lot of the joke heroes at the moment. Which, when you sneak, you go invisible, and you leave this kind of armor stand, which like looks like a player, and kind of the joke is, ha ha ha, it's an anime girl, it's going to distract people. That's kind of the joke. And this has got quite a funny origin with this power. Is my friend, I was asking for ideas from people, and my friend said, ha ha ha, why don't you do this? But not expecting me to do it. And then, of course, you know, I take jokes a bit too far, and it's actually in the plugin now. And again, this is very customizable. You can like change the hair, you can do whatever you want, and you just get some speed and invis as long as you're sneaking. As soon as you unsneak, that is gone. Okay, Dolphin. The text's a bit too long on this one, really. I need to cut that. But this is the classic kind of like fast underwater user. The main thing that's unique about this is first of all, you kill a squid in a single hit with your fist, which is a bit random, but it works quite well. The other mechanic is that you can consume ink sacs for hunger, as you can see, and it also gives me some regeneration. So if you want, you can eat squid if you're kind of into that. And that's kind of demonstrating from the instant eat mechanic, which is one of the skills in my plugin. And it's used a lot in Floral, which we'll come to later. Okay, so now Doomfist. This is kind of based off of the Overwatch character, and so there's a lot of like variation. Like the default heroes aren't really themed. It's more of a demonstration of what you can do. And with Doomfist, at the cost of hunger, you kind of have this like insane leap, and then it stops once you get too low hunger, and when you hit the ground, it like damages people. So if we spawn some pigs, like so, and then I go whoop, whoop. You don't need to do multiple jumps if you don't want to, but yeah, you can see all of them around me would dealt some damage too. Maybe we can attack this pillager in a sec. There we go. Oh, it's not a pillager, it's one of those. I think I must have been playing around my boss's plugin earlier, but that's not public. So we'll move away from them. And that's kind of the main mechanic to Doomfist. There's not much else to him, but it's a very interesting mechanic. Like, you've got good mobility with it, especially if you carry a lot of food on you, as the cooldown in the air is like basically non-existent. So you can get a lot of leaps in if you just like, have some steak, leap, 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 land, eat, wait a couple seconds. So you can move pretty quickly. Then moving on to Dracula. Dracula isn't a super well thought out hero, but it's mainly to demonstrate, firstly, if you look here, there's a gradient to this colour. So we support mind down for colour coding, and that's how that's done. If you want help doing that, just join my Discord. It's just not too hard, or you can look at the mind down documentation. And secondly, if I give myself a sword, it has lifesteal. And this is mainly just to demonstrate the lifesteal skill, as I tried to make the default heroes somewhat self-documenting of all of the features of the plugin, so you can see an example of everything being used somewhere. And because lifesteal is very powerful, in my opinion, in PvP, the lifesteal on this is quite weak, and often have people going, oh, Dracula doesn't work. It does work. Look, you see there? So we gained a half heart from the critical hit on the cow. So watch the hearts. You can see they're going up, even though I'm not on full hunger. So it is quite clearly working. Yeah. So it takes a lot of hits, but this is because lifesteal is really strong. If you want to change that on your server, you can. It's very easy to do. You can just go in the config and whack that up a bit. It's just my personal taste of balance doesn't involve copious amounts of lifesteal. And that's all there is to that character. He's just mainly there for self-documentation. Dragon is a custom hero I was working on someone with. I don't think I've made that a stock hero. Although I will quickly check, because I'm a uni student now, so I don't really work on it as much. Oh no, I have made Dragon a public hero. Okay, we'll cover Dragon then. So with Dragon, you get this little fireball thing. and it's very, very powerful. I would not call this thing balanced, which is why I wasn't sure whether I made it a stock hero. But yeah, that, you see those it's dealing 3 hearts damage. And it's just kind of another example of, like, assigning actions 2 items. And it uses similar mechanics like Pyro. Anyway, okay, so Enderman. I get quite a lot of complaints about the about it being on punching with this character. So it's punching only with an empty fist. If I swing this around, just won't do anything. A lot of people are like, oh, why don't you do right click? Because, you know, when you're mining a tree, that's helpful. Yeah, that would be great if Minecraft allowed it. Since sometime after 1.8, they stopped sending as much data to the server about right clicks. Like, they only send right clicks in certain scenarios when it's needed for the vanilla game, as there's a plugin on the server. If the vanilla client isn't telling it something, it doesn't know you've right clicked. So this is only doable on the fist. So yeah, that's demonstrated what people find annoying. But as soon as you got your first item, not a big deal. Just hold the item. You're not going to teleport. And that's all there is to the hero. So it's just got this like fairly long range teleport that you can do for free. Okay, moving on. We have Eraserhead. This can't be demonstrated easily without 2 players, but basically you can look at a player and just sneak, and it will remove their power temporarily. And it'll pop up on their screen saying erased. That's based on the My Hero Academia character, if anyone's watched that. But definitely one of my favourite heroes, just can't really demonstrate too easily right now, unless I like booted up another account. Okay, so ExtraHeartMan. This is another one of these joke characters where I was like, hey, to my friends, give me an idea. And this was suggested to me. So all it is a character who's got permanent health boost too. And when you right click on something, you give them hearts. So you see that little green sparkle, and now you see some particles coming off this pig. This pig now has absorption hearts, which isn't something you come across in the vanilla game very often. But yeah, that's what this guy does, so it could be quite fun if you want to be a supporting role. Or it can be used when you're creating your own heroes. You gotta remember, these DeFi heroes are very much documentation of the kind of things you can do with this plugin. Okay, Floral. Now this is a very cool character. So the flowers give you potion effects. So that little pink one gave me regeneration 3 per second. The alliums give levitation. And I think the Oxide Daisies are slow falling. So if I remember this correctly, so you got levitation 2. So moving up, so you can kind of like fly a bit with this character. And then if I Oxide Daisy, we've got slow falling. So if you like memorize what all the potion effects do, like I have, then you can use some pretty cool stuff. These ones, yeah, they're speed 1 for a while. And yeah, wherever you look, you're creating flowers, and there's a flower trail. Okay, it's not a flower trail anymore. There was at one point. That would be a bit excessive, though, I have to admit. Yeah, these are fire res, so there is some logic to it, like orange fire resistance, blue speed. You can kind of work it out. It's not completely random. I think the dandelions might be haste. Yeah, dandelions haste. You can see I've used my plugin far too much because I have all this stuff memorized. But yeah, Floral, very fun hero. Often quite underrated by people. I think because of the more girly aesthetic, but it's quite cool in my opinion. So, Frozone. This is based on the Incredibles Frozone. So you can walk. So firstly, if you're near things, they will get slowness. So you can see these particles come up the sheep. That sheep is now slower. And you have this kind of walking on water. So it's kind of like what's called Frostwalker on boots. But of course you get it right from the beginning. You don't actually need Frostwalker, that kind of thing. It can be a bit weird on servers with higher ping because the client basically isn't expected blocks suddenly appear beneath it. But if you're in a low ping environment, it works great, as you can see here. Like, I'm not having any issues. And that's kind of Frozone for you. So GravityGuy, this is kind of similar to that Floral idea I was showing earlier, except in this it's controlled by sneaking and not sneaking. So you can see in the top right I've got levitation right now, and then when I let go I have Snowfall. So quite cool. And this is based off of the mobile game that if you're kind of a 2000s kid, you will have played. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, now I've got gun. Gun. You can kind of get a sense of my sense of humor here. So, gun. You have a gun. So it's this kind of like it's this stone hoe. And you've got the comment. This is a legitimate superpower. It's kind of a little joke on like Batman and characters like that, who their only power seems to be the gun. And I just killed that pig. And you can also hear the sound effects on this. I'll have to check and post if you could hear that before. Anyway. Okay, so that's kind of what gun is. Also, with the item superpowers, you do get your item back after dying and whatnot. And there are some protections in place to stop you from giving it to other players. Like that, just discourage it, because these items don't work on other powers, but just basically discourage it. So you are an Iron Golem is a similar idea to the chicken. Occasionally you'll get an iron ingot, although it takes a lot longer than the chicken. I think this might be every minute, 30 seconds. This might be too overpowered depending on what your server's like, but of course you can just disable. And there we go, there's the iron ingot. And we've got the acquire hardware achievement. Okay. So now King Midas. This is based on the Greek myth about the king that turned everything into gold. So if we give myself, there's quite a few little things here. So if I get some iron blocks, and then we right click, they are now gold blocks. You can do this with any ingot block. So you can even do coal blocks. So, I don't know, that could be quite useful. Maybe. There is also a similar thing with apples. So when you pick an apple off the ground, these will be turned into golden apples. And there's always a chance of them being a enchanted golden apple, which could be very overpowered. Okay, actually, I removed the enchanted golden apple chance at some point. That's too overpowered. And yeah, you have, similar to the chicken and the iron golem, you occasionally drop golden nuggets. It's been a while since I've used my plugin, especially with the default heroes, so give me a slight break. Lava Walker, very similar to Frozone. Basically, the description's there. You can walk on lava. So if we quickly go to the nether, hopefully without dying. Okay, G must be. Let's go find some lava. This does have the occasional funny side effect with Frozone and Lava Walker, where if you try and jump into the liquid to stop fall damage, you can occasionally die of fall damage, which has happened sometimes. Okay. And you can walk like that. I think at some point I must have accidentally removed the resistance from magma. So let's take this as a quick opportunity to show how to edit stuff. So right there I've had King Midas open. Now let's switch to this display. Okay, and let's open Lava Walker. And let's edit this live. So I think Hot Floor is the name of the magma one. And let's do a hero reload. And there we go. Now that is gone, and I will fix that in the next version of the plugin. I must have missed that. So now we're not taking any damage, and if you shift, it won't place the blocks. and you get regeneration from fire as this character. That's quite cool. And we'll take a quick gander at the format we're working with here. Although this is a very annoying noise from the lava. So we have the name of the hero here. So this is what you type into commands. Then we have colored name. This is what appears when you run/hero select. And I'll bring up Dracula for an example of the more complicated color codes. So this is the first color value. It starts at this, the one it ends at, and it's just going to do a gradient over that. Minddown also supports this for bold, so kind of like Discord if you've used that for bolding text. But anyway, this is more traditional text. And then you write a description of what it does. That's just the bit that appears in the subtitle when you run/hero select. And then here's the meat of it. We have the skill section. Each one of these blocks is referred to as a skill. And then we have the skill parameter, which is the type of skill, and then all the rest of these are parameters of that type of skill. There is a more complicated library that I've made called Skills Library. Very inventive name, I know. Which lets you define custom skills and do much more creative things. But in the stock plugin, you are given access to any of the skills which appear in any of the default heroes. You can change parameters, mix and match, that kind of thing. And you see with the lava walker, so we're using the walker skill. It's replacing lava with magma. You don't have to be sneaking. If blocks drop means if someone breaks the magma, it will give you a magma block. You can disable that if you want. And should revert means should it turn back, basically. So in Aerosurfer, it reverts. Then fire healing is this damage potion skill kind of refers to if you take damage, gives you a potion effect. Take damage from regeneration. Take damage from the fire tick, fire or lava, and you'll get a 20-second potency bomb regeneration. That's quite good, and we can add hot floor, and then just standing on magma will give us the effect. So if it would do hero reload, now we're getting permanent regeneration just from standing on the magma, which is quite cool. And yeah, that's the kind of thing you want to do. If you need any help with writing skills and modifying heroes, come join my Discord. That will be in the description. Otherwise, yeah, and we'll carry on with the heroes, I guess. Okay, so now we're on to Mole. We will need the overworld for this. The mole in the nether is not very good. Okay, so this is very gimmicky. The general idea is you're a mole. You cannot see in the brights. This is why I'm blind. But you can instantly break dirt, stone, that kind of thing. Oh, the issue is just that the night vision duration is too low. So if we can rack that to duration of 10, 100, there we go. Okay, so how about need to fix that in the release? But basically, so if it gets too light, then we are given blindness, like so. And when we're in here, it's just we have night vision, and we can break blocks instantly. So quite a cool little effect. And that's the main gimmick to Mole. So very fast mining. And that's kind of the main reason you would use it. You can also instant break cobblestone. Yeah, could be quite useful. So let's go here, select. So you can see that I'm fixing stuff because I've accidentally broke default heroes things. But I'm able to fix them all using the config so far, so you can see it's quite a powerful plugin. Okay, now this is actually a very it's very experimental hero. So with this, if you sneak, you just fall straight through the floor. It puts you in GMSP. You cannot fall through the world As you can see, it's blocking me. And then when you let go, we're climbing, as you can see in the Y levels. If you meet a cave, you'll get sprung out there. Otherwise, you'll just climb until the surface. It stopped a bit early. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think I just need to unsneak and resneak. Like that. So if we go like, let's say, let's get above where we know there's a cave. Okay, like so. And there we go, we are now in the cave. So that could be quite useful for finding caves. And it can also be very good from escaping from something. So obviously you can just dip. And if there's a cave there, then you're fully gone. If there isn't a cave there, you will need to return to the surface again, which might not be very fun. But yeah, it's quite a cool hero. Now Pickpocket, this is another one which you might not want to allow on your server. And it's similar to Eraserhead, where I cannot show you without another player. But you can literally just walk up someone, sneak, right click, and you see the inventory. It is nerfed, it's not literally an inventory. If they walk away, if they're more than 3 blocks away from you, the inventory closes. If they run, it's quite a realistic pickpocket for what you can do in Minecraft. And yeah. And you also have to be sneak right click, so it's very obvious what you're doing. The player who you pickpocket hears like a chest open sound, so it's quite well signposted. But it's definitely not the right thing for all servers. So if you don't want that, feel free, just go in the powers folder, find pickpocket.yml, delete. It's gone. And you can always get them back just by either like deleting your superheroes folder and then the plugin will regenerate it, or you can go on my GitHub and just download the latest version. Okay, now Pyromaniac. So you have these fire trails, which if we go near a forest, is quite ridiculous. You also have fire immunity. As you can see, I'm not dying. Okay, I think I didn't recreate the fireballs in modern versions of the plugin, but you could quite easily do that if you wanted to. You just need to use the egg layer skill, which is what Chicken and Iron Golem use to give you fireballs. And then similar to the dragon fireball thing, you just need to spawn like a blaze fireball, and it's quite easily re-implementable if you want to. So moving on, so currently all this has this fire trail and the fire immunity. But still could be quite fun. It says repulsion, and I need to eat a golden apple so I don't die. So when you sneak, NPCs are repelled. It's fairly self-explanatory. If we spawn some pigs, so you can do that. You kind of force them away. If you want an attraction power, it's quite easy. You can just go in the config and make the multiplier negative. So I can quickly show you how to do that, because I've talked to people about this. So go repulsion.yml, show more options, edit notepad. And then you're brought here. Yeah, okay, I've even commented this. So if we did negative, and then I'll reload, now we can bring pigs towards me. And you can also do faster repulsion. You can do bigger range. So if I do a reload, I'm applying a much stronger effect here, as you can see by you can go below and then it launches things in the air. So I'm like playing is that pig? I just killed it. So it can be quite fun. Very strong in PvP situations though, obviously, as they can't get close to you, so they would have to just shoot you with a bow. So up to you whether you like this. As it's a very customizable plugin. Then let's take a look at Robot. So with Robot you have all these potion effects, well not the absorption, you have the night vision resistance permanently. Let's quickly do an effect clear to get rid of the absorption. And it seems quite boring, But you can do, there's a little reference to Don't Starve in here. So if you get struck with lightning, then you have the glowing and resistance. Oh well, yeah, there was before the glowing and the speed too. Just a little reference to that. And if you have a friend who's playing Zeus, which is one of the later heroes, they can strike with lightning at will. And then now you have the 30-second speed too, and glowing whenever you want it. So that could be quite cool. Okay, so now Scavenger. This is quite a cool little feature in the plugin. You can define custom crafting recipes, which are only accessible by a certain class. So you have these Scavenger, various tools, and I'll quickly show you the config for this, because this is quite interesting. So I'll show you how to define them. So we have each of these skills. So you also have this this rotten flesh one, which means you turn a single rotten flesh into leather. So we can also have some rotten flesh. Ta-da! Now it's in this leather. You can make some armor if you wanted. And it's also got the cheaper diamond armor recipes. And it's got this bow which you can make with only sticks, so you don't need to find string. I'm just generally going for the scavenger theme, as the name suggests. Now slime. This is this is a favourite of mine. It's kind of legalized bee hopping is the best way of describing it. So if you've ever played Hypixel UHC, you will have a great idea of what this is. So you can move very, very quickly. And that wasn't exactly the original intention. More of what it's meant to be is for this kind of effect. So you've got these like big jumps after you fall off a very high building, but then as the jumps get smaller, you have this kind of ridiculously fast movement, which is even faster than Speedster, which comes later. So you've got Snowman. This when you get a snowball, spade, wood spade, spade. You can just shoot this indefinitely. So if you want snowballs for something, you've got them. You're basically a snow golem. That's kind of what it's going for. It could be good for fighting blazes in the nether. If you really want, as snowballs damage them. Now Sorcerer. This is the one that always does need a tutorial. So firstly, it's using the crafting recipes feature. Although I need a crafting recipe to show it. Yeah, I'll show you the recipes. So if you could get some paper, we have a cheaper recipe for buck and quill. Which is like, oh, why do you want buck and quill? Well, so if you can type anything in here if you want, anything at all, so you could that's nice. Then we go sign. Now this is the important bit. We type fireball, then we get this special spellbook. So it says redstone 4 and a cooldown of 6 seconds. So if we get some redstone, then we can now shoot fireballs at the cost of redstone. And also similar to King Midas, you can convert ingot blocks into redstone. So if we get a coal block, so oh yeah, but I'm being stupid. Okay, you need to make the transmutation book, and then you can, like so. And this is a 0 redstone cast, 6-second cooldown, so you can't like spam this. But all the cooldowns on the books are independent. So if you get a lot of different books, then you can start spamming. If you want a full list of spells, you can come join my Discord, but I'll show off some of my favourites. Also, the nice thing is you can do this. So you put it back and get a book callback. So you can get other spell books without needing a lot of paper. So like for early game, basically, if you are using this in a survival. And you just, this is the trident one. We can put that in. Get an arrow book. And the idea is usually you get a lot of these. You can just go Trident, Arrow, Fireball, Trident, Arrow, Fireball, Snowball, all sorts. Because yeah, it's kind of you can tell that some heroes are made more equal than others. There is a Snowball feature in here, which is basically the Snowman. There's also Egg, which is probably quite underrated, but considering, I mean, it does cost 1 redstone each time, but you can just get 3 baby chickens wherever you are, and obviously that can be quite good for food, which is something not many heroes are actually great at. There's also a TNT spell. I can't remember exactly what I call it. I think I called it Explosion. Yep, Explosion. This is kind of nuts. So 12 redstones might be too low of a cost. I've seen people use this for mining netherite. You just lob TNT like that. Decently large cooldown, but obviously you've got an explosion. Okay, that cow just got obliterated. I think the skeleton wants to go. Okay, explosion. Go, go, go. Please. Okay, we didn't quite get the skeleton with that, but it's burning to death. There we go. And you can't pick up these tridents if you had any worry about balance. It's not free trident. But anyway, that's kind of the gist of Sorcerer. If you have any questions, that is a more complicated one. So if you are running a server with a lot of people, you will need to have maybe NPCs explaining it, signs, that kind of thing. Okay, Spartan. So the gimmick is you get this shield, and firstly the shield's unbreakable, and even if you get hit with an axe, this shield is not going down. So if I can remember who it is with the axe, do piglin brutes have it? Yes, they do. Okay, and that is okay, I'm taking. Oh god. Oh, there we go. He's been turned to a zombie pigman because in the overworld. Yeah, you can get the idea there, which is quite strong in and of itself against certain entities or for PvP. But you also have the ability to just lob arrows as kind of like javelins. It's the idea it's going for, and you can pick these back up. So you might be able to go hit and just have a no cooldown, little arrow attack. No, could be quite cool if you're into that kind of thing. Then moving on, we've got Speedster, which I mentioned earlier with the slime. It is possible on slime in brief bursts to go faster than Speed 4. But I think Speedster's the more reliable, quick character. It's slightly easier to control. It's just fast and normal movement. Not too much to say about this, you're just incredibly fast. Okay, now Speleologist. So basically, that's what it is. Instantly smelt and double ores. We get ourselves a diamond pickaxe, and then I'm filling my inventory up with a lot of guff at the moment. Making myself some diamond ore. So this in comparison with Scavenger means Scavenger's halving the crafting recipe cost, and Speleologist is doubling the number of ingots or gems you get in the case of diamonds. And you can see we've got 4. So that means you can make a full set of diamond armor for 6 diamonds with a Scavenger and a Speleologist. Up to you if you want to allow that. Or with 6 diamond ore. Up to you if you want to allow that. And that's before Fortune, because also it's actually Fortune, so up to you. You might want to nerf that. Or if you did, but of course it depends on the kind of server you are running. And then we've got iron ore, so that's just doubling the iron ingots like so. Okay, then we have Strongman. This is a favourite of mine. Let's fly over to those cliffs over there. And we'll try throwing something off. It's quite funny to throw goats off cliffs in my in my experience. But let me go. Let's let me go. Okay, so we've picked up the goat, and now you just sneak to throw. And there it's gone. So, and you can also stack multiple on your head. It's quite difficult to do with the hitboxes, but if you can pull it off, I think chickens aren't great for the first one, because it basically depends on whether the first one blocks your entire hitbox or not. But anyway, if you manage to get the right click correct, then you can pick multiple up. But basically, if you do F3 and B, then you see the sheep hitbox is covering most of my head. But it is possible. So you should take my word upon that. Or at least it was possible in 1.17 last time I managed to put that off, but they shouldn't have changed too much. And now Superhuman. This is actually the first hero that was made. Which, you know, it's quite basic. So you got jump boost 2, speed resistance haste, and that's all there is to it really. Not too much to talk about that. And then Zeus. So there's the description. So you do have to sneak punch, and then you do get some slow falling briefly and a bit of velocity. So say here, so you can kind of tack a bit. And then you can reduce your full damage like that. So if your players, I don't know, enjoy Zeus, then that's a little thing you can do. And you get a little bit of knockback there, just to kind of feel the weight of Zeus. And that's all the heroes in the plugin by default. And I'll take a look at some of the configs. Just so you can see what you can do. So we have the config.yml. And this is kind of the main one. So this is basically, all these fields basically if using SQL. Now, so if you want to use SQL, just type SQL on there, and it will use it. Otherwise, this isn't there by default. This metadata main cycler thing. This was me, basically demonstrating and helping some of my Discord with doing custom metadata. Or so that you can do custom items basically. So do a hero reload, and then by default, if a player manages a minor diamond block, they can right click and get a new hero. That's kind of the in-game mechanic to change hero. And then we also have power on starts. This is whether the player should start with the power. If they don't, they'll give no power, which is a hero technically, but it doesn't have any powers. So self-explanatory there. And then there's show heroes, basically whether it should pop up in chat, I think. Hero cooldown, this is whether you want basically if you're having players run hero select, then you can tell the plugin to handle a cooldown for that. Basically up to you whether you want that. Then there's also language file, just basically the messages. You know, you can configure that however you want. There's also data.yml, which is where if you use the YAML file is how it gets stored. Yeah. And then in here, powers folder, here's everything. If you don't want something, just delete it. Let's say we get into creeper power, we don't like that for whatever reason. Hero reload, hero select, and then creeper's now gone. It's a completely modular plugin. It's got like a bit of an API. If you like programming, you can quite easily write your own skills and just put them in here as you use, and ta-da! And we've got skills library, which I might make a video on at some point. Thanks for watching, and bye!